been a really long time since I've been to the booktube universe. But you know, senior year is really stressful, what with applying to colleges and AP classes and procrastination. It's just really takes a toll on a person, okay? Since we're getting into the fall, October, Halloween era, I thought what more than like a spooky book recommendation video thing, you know, can't think of the word. No, I'll probably think of the word like in the description down below or like the next video, but right now I cannot think of the word. But like basically what I'm going to do is each week I'm going to be showing you different book recommendations to go with a different spooky theme. This week we'll have 3 videos because I am running behind again because of procrastination and other ailments that I, you know, probably aren't good enough excuses, but I'm going to say are. Down below I will explain this better, exactly what I'm doing, what each video's theme's going to be, as well as under the theme of the videos, all of the books and by the authors, in case, you know, you didn't catch it in the video and you don't want to go back or whatever. Now, I've read most of these, but I have not read all of them. I just, if their cover or like the story they tell, I just feel puts me in a fall or Halloween mood, and I feel like they're just cool and great and whatever, and everyone I know loves them that has read them. So basically, Miscellaneous, which I will be doing today as the first video, which should have been done 2 weeks ago, is like every theme or category, subcategory that didn't go in with the major categories I have. Like, they're not vampire books, they're not fairy books, they're not witch books or ghost books. They're kind of all a mix and match of them all or nothing, or I'm gonna go now into the video. Okay, so our first book recommendation I have for you is from a book I actually have read. I'm currently reading because I didn't get to it on my summer TBR, but I have read the first one, and now I'm reading the second one, and I love it. And while the first one, they both have a like creepy vibe, the second one is more of a fall vibe, even though it's set in winter times. And basically, the Madmen's Daughter trilogy. Sadly, I only have the second one because I do not own any of the books yet, and like I said, I'm currently reading this one. And basically what the first one is about is a girl whose father was like charged with cruel experimentations, and so he went on the run, leaving her and her mother to fend for themselves. The mother became like a prostitute, and then eventually the mother died, and so this girl is left alone trying to figure out how to survive. Well, one day she runs into a servant boy that she used to work in her old like house she lived in, and he took her to this island where her dad, who she thought was dead, has been continuing his experimentations, and basically it just unfolds with all these monsters and mysteries and love, and just, it's cool. I feel like if I say too much, I'm gonna spoil it all, and it's like, what's the point of reading it? But yes, read it. I tell you what the sequel is about, but I have to tell you the whole entire story plot of the first one, and that's just not nice. And I've like recommend this in every single one of my videos, I feel like, so I mean, it's great. Read the series. Remember, first one, Madman's Daughter. Okie dokie. The next one I have only read like 100 pages of, and I watched what was kind of the first season or the first part of the first season on TV, but I feel like I'm recommending this to you guys because it is on my fall TBR, and I'm just kind of mixing all of these videos with like TBRs and recommendations because they're just books that make me think of it or whatever, and that is The 9 Lives of Chloe King. Now you may all remember it used to be on ABC Family. It, like, did like the first half of the first season, then it got canceled even though it was an amazing series. It's basically like about a girl who finds out that she's descendant of like these cat-like people, and she is like this protector of them, and she's like bring peace to the world, and like it's cool. You might remember the TV show, and if you do, then I'm sure you will like this book. I only got 100 pages in, and I liked it, yet the characters, I have to warn you, are slightly different from how they were on TV so far in the book. This next one I have read, and a lot of you have probably read because I know BookTube has always been prominent with this book, or at least the ones I've watched, and the movie's coming out, and like, the movie is out. It's been out since a couple weeks ago, and it is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This whole entire series, it just screams like Halloween. It screams fall. It just screams like a book I want to curl up with when the leaves turning brown and the weather's all like nice and cool and I have like a nice cup of a coffee with me and I'm wearing a sweater. Like, that's just what this book reminds me of. Next one, I have not read it and it's been on my TBR list for so long, and I'm just playing this because, again, it makes me think of Halloween and fall, yet it doesn't go into another category, and it's another TBR book, and that is Dorothy Must Die. I am so excited to read this book, so I had to add into this because I will be reading it during the month of October, and it is very, Halloweenish. I mean, she goes to a world with witches and live scarecrows, and there has to be a murder done and an assassination, and all that just screams Halloween to me. Don't know why, it just does. Or at least fall. So, read it. I already mentioned what it's about in a previous video. I mentioned it in my very pathetic summer book haul. So if you really want to know what it's about, you can look it up there. Next one is a werewolf one. It's a great twist on a werewolf where they only turn to wolves during colder temperatures. And the main character in the story, she got bit when she was younger, but she never turned into a werewolf. And this one werewolf, he kind of grew up watching her, and he soon fell in love with her. So basically the plot of the story is they finally fall in love, and she realizes that, oh, you turn into a wolf when it's cold. And so basically the story is about her and him trying to keep their romance alive, trying to keep people safe, and trying to keep him as human as possible. And that book series is the Shiver trilogy, which I think is actually now 4 books, but the 4th book is not about our main character, Grace or Sam. It is about one of her friends that's kind of a friend of me, kind of a friend by the end of the series. If you just want like a good werewolf that doesn't involve the typical full moon, or I can shapeshift whenever I want, then this is what you should go for. Also, it's by this great author who also wrote The Raven Boys, so I mean, it's good. Next one I have read, and I will be showing you it. And sadly, I do not have the first book of this because it is at school because I'm using it for a still life project in art. But I do have the second, and that is the Outlander series. I mean, come on. Every time I think of Scotland, I always think of the fall. I don't know why. Like, it doesn't make me think of spring or summer or winter. It makes me think of fall. I don't know why. But basically, what this series is about is it's the 1940s, after World War II, and this nurse, and I forgot what Frank's job, her husband, they reconcile after 3 years of being apart because of the war, and they go on like a mini vacation to Scotland. Well, there she finds these mystical stones that transport her back to 1700s Scotland, where she goes on this crazy adventure trying to get back home, but kind of also fall in love with a Scotsman there, aka J.D. Fraser, the best fictional character in the whole entire world, arguably. And it's great. So good. So good. If you're not into reading really thick books, because these books are thick, then there is a TV show. It's pretty close to the book, and it's just as good. So I would check that out, or the book, or both, because they're both great. Especially in the fall. I don't know why, but like I said, Scotland makes me think of the fall, and time traveling's all mystical and magical, and bada bing, bada boom. Next book I'm going to be showing you is actually above me. I don't know if you can see it, so I'm going to move my camera. It's right where the little Dean Pop vinyl is, and is the Percy Jackson series, because I know most of these stories take place during the summer because he goes to a summer camp, but just because I thought I'd add them in here, because there is monsters and magic and all that crap that you think of when you think of Halloween are in these series. Well, I probably will not read them during the fall, since I always reread the series in the summer. I do feel anything written by Rick Riordan could be read in the fall because of the whole magicness to it, especially the Crane Chronicles. Those always make me feel in a fallish mood. Don't know why. Next one is kind of childrenish, but since Netflix is finally released a trailer for it, for their TV series adaptation of it, I thought I should mention it because when I think of this, I think of fall. Again, I don't know why. These are all just gut feelings you're all just going to have to get used to. And that is a series of unfortunate events. These are quick reads. And yes, they're children's books. I read these in 5th grade. But you know what? They're still good. Okay, I will read these probably to my children one day and then secretly read them by myself because I just love them. I can finish them in couple days, 3 days, because I know the later books get thicker. And the TV series is coming out, so it's a great excuse to catch up on it so you know what the heck is going to go on in that show. The next one is another like pre-teenish book, but I always love it. It's always so close to my heart. It like brought one of my friends and I like closer together and like made us the best friends we are today. And the reason I like put it into this fall is because it has spies and mystery and starts out like the beginning of the school year, and that just, you know, we're in the beginning of the school year, so just gonna shut up. It is I Tell You I Love You But Then I Have to Kill You. It is a Gallagher Academy series. This is the first one in it. It's about a girl who goes to a school where everyone thinks, oh, it's for the smart and the rich, but in reality it's where they train girls to become the best of the best spies that they can be. And this girl, during one of their like covert missions out and about in the town they live close to, she meets a guy, and well, we all know where this goes. She falls in love with the guy falls in love with her. She has to keep spying as a secret. He, of course, tries to dig into her secret life. The last one isn't really a book. It is a, like, combination of poetry and tales. And this author, poet, you may say, when you think of him, you think of Halloween. You think of the scary. You think of the dark and twisted and fall and death. And if you haven't figured out who it is yet, and no, it is not Shakespeare, because he's a little more humorous than this one, it is Edgar Allan Poe, the complete tales and poems, but of course you can just read them by themselves online, or I'd advise to buy this because yes, I got this for like $5 at Barnes & Noble because usually they had a sale on it during Halloween time last year, a couple years ago. And so yes, I recommend it. Not only is the cover really pretty, but I love all his poems and his short stories because he's my favorite poet. Basic, I know, but it's true. So that is it for my video recommendations for the very first one in this series. That's it. Finally remembered the word like 10 minutes into this video. But yes, this is the first of my spooky Halloween book recommendations October TBR series. The next one should be up by Wednesday. And yeah, if you like this video, please like and subscribe.